Okay, well, I will tell you that that is the least of your problems. That is the least of your problems. You guys remember these fidget spinners? My goodness, last Christmas they were huge. So I'm going to say from June of last year through to Christmas, they were just absolutely mental. And they went from nothing to everywhere, not just on Amazon, but on eBay, everywhere, okay? Here's what happened behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, some guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but he had noticed that there was a movement towards things like stress balls, Rubik cubes, not to do the cubes, but just to give your hands something to do. Those beads that you can play with, move towards those kind of things. And so he approached a factory in China to put together a product that was good for something to do with your hands when you're fidgeting, okay? And that's what this factory came up with, and they called it a fidget spinner. Now, at that time, there was one factory in China making fidget spinners. Now, he started selling them on Amazon, and his first order from the factory was for 500 units. Now, when they started taking off, what happened was he went back for his second order and immediately ordered 1,000 units. And so what the factory then knew was they were onto a successful product. Okay? Here's where it gets interesting. There is a thing in China called guanxi, and basically it's you scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's kind of that. And so every day the factory owners all sit around drinking tea and they talk about the products that they're selling, and they do that to get good guanxi. So this one factory that was making fidget spinners had said, hey, look, we've now got a product that's starting to sell 500 units first time, 1,000 units the second time, 5,000 units the third time, etc., etc. They're called fidget spinners. Here they are. And within 3 weeks, there were 10 factories making fidget spinners. 10. So in 3 weeks, it went from one factory to 10 factories. Now, of course, all of those factories were then competing, but that's okay. That's guanxi in action for you. Fast forward 3 months, there were 120 factories making fidget spinners in China. All right. So it is inevitable, if you have created a product, that product will get shared between the Chinese factories. They will absolutely share it. Absolutely, because they have a different relationship with intellectual property than we do in the West. It's a different relationship with intellectual property. It isn't protected in the same way. You could argue that's a good thing for innovation, but it's a bad thing for commerce. So, here's what to do instead. If you are, so there's a linguistic element to this. If you are referring to design, Jan, and that is your brand, don't worry about that. Nobody gives a rat's ass about your brand in China. They could care less about it, all right? What the factory is interested in is the product. They couldn't care about the brand, all right? So don't worry about them sharing that. That doesn't happen. It's a new design for a product that's the important thing. So what the big boys do is they get one factory to make one element of the product, another factory to make another element of the product, and a third factory to make a third element of the product. Then they bring all those disparate parts together, usually in a different country, say the USA for instance, where they're put together into the finished product, and then that product is sold. And that way, the factories in China have not got a clue what they're actually working on. All they see is a bolt that they're making. They don't see that as part and parcel of the bigger picture, which is this great product that you've invented. So that's how you get around that. But just know, Chinese, that's a different mentality to the Western world. It's just a different way of doing things, and you've got to take that into consideration when you are selling there. Hope that helps, Jan. Good question. I love it. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.